Welcome back, folks, to the LightTED Online Video Show. LIGHTFAIR Awards Part 2. That's right. We're going to do the back end of this thing. So, this episode of the show, just to get started, is brought to you by Keystone Technologies. Go to KEYSTONETECH.com, baby. Light made easy, the retrofit kings. I'm surprised Keystone's not on that list. They have a lot of great products, Greg.
They do. There's a chance they didn't submit them. I don't know what kind of process they went through on it, but maybe they did and just didn't win.
All right.
But unique products, and to continue on with our conversation, the next category in line is indoor decorative, which you see that fixture on screen is wild. That's a pretty cool looking deal. It's by Light Panel USA, and it's a Light Panel Air color wheel. So it's German design LED panel that delivers maximum light exposure. Comes in 3000K, 4005, 6500, and RGB plus W color temperatures. So you can cut any shape or size and engrave any pattern in that laser software to make a fixture that looks as nice as that one. You don't see them in a lot of applications, but when you do, they look pretty awesome.
You know what? Light is becoming a part of the architecture, not to highlight the architecture, but actually is becoming a physical part of the architecture. And I think that's wild, dude. You know, it's like the only thing that concerns me is what happens when it burns out. But I mean, you know,
let's not talk about that. That's LED, man. It's going to last forever.
But you know what? Like, you look at these fixtures, like, it's so beautiful, dude. Some of the new applications these lighting designers are coming out with are absolutely mind blowing to me. Some of the stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
And you know, like, for example, one of the things that I've seen, which is really unbelievable to me, is instead of, like, people are rethinking architecture. Like, it's almost like we're on the ground floor right now. People are saying, well, no, we have a light source. The light source has to sit in the architecture and be support. And it's like, why don't we just make the light source the supporting architecture? Like T-bar ceiling lights. Like, the T-bar is the light. Like, you've seen that, right? That's pretty common out there now. But I think, wow, that looks incredible. You have this T-bar lighting on the thing. It's tunable, dimmable, all this sort of stuff. And then you you stop for a second. You say, you mean I have to change the whole T-bar?
Right.
Turn that off,
it's a unique product,
and pop some 2x4 panels into that thing.
There you go.
You know,
right.
I mean, so that's the only concern I have. But other than that, though, I mean, some of the stuff that you see with these lighting designers and architects and that are putting together using the light source as a part of the architecture is really beautiful and unbelievable.
That's a great example of it there.
Yep.
Definitely. The next one is a parking, roadway, and area luminaires, something that we run into all the time, very important. And this one was a ANP lighting and EQ series. You can see that fixture on there. What do you notice about it right offhand, Mike? Where's the light going?
Yeah, it's definitely a glare-free fixture. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, glare-free, and it's visual, and it's going down, so you're not polluting the sky. No light pollution out of that fixture.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's, it's got the different. It can have type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5 distributions. Kelvin temperatures, 27 Kelvin to 4,000 Kelvin. Notice how they cut it off at 4,000. On their website, though, it does say 5K. I did have to look at that because I was like, are they not going to offer a 5K? But so I don't know if they cut it at 4, they still have the 5. But, that kind of tells you something right there, is that, that whole discussion is 5K too bright for outdoor or not the appropriate light color. Maybe not. We don't know the answer to that. But on their submittal, at least, it cut it off at 4K.
You know what I think?
Nice looking light. Yeah.
You know what I think is going to happen with outdoor lighting?
What's that?
I think what they're going to do is they're going to draw a parallel between humans' relationship to fire and its color and light at night. There's something there with that. I'm telling you, there's something deep, deep down in humans. That orange color of fire, that low Kelvin temperature of fire, and being able to deliver that color with high color rendering index, I really believe is the answer to all. And then, obviously, dark sky friendly and all that kind of thing. But I just deep in my
Mhm.
gut of guts, in my heart of hearts, I believe that humans have a relationship with that color, 1800 Kelvin or 1500 Kelvin or whatever it is. That's the color of a fire at night. I think there's some relationship there between our evolution as a species and the comfort level and the ability to see and stay calm but not screw up our circadian rhythms at night. There's something to that color, and that's we've evolved to have that color of light at night. And it actually, when we want it to, it keeps us awake, but it doesn't. It gives us light to see, but it doesn't screw up our circadian rhythms. And I think the industry has to give me some research on that, because I really truly believe that deep in my heart that that's why HPS was, there's some HPS is that color, and why? I mean, because that's the color of it. But why was there so much HPS lighting, street lighting, for years and years and years? Even when metal halide came out, even when all these other technologies came, people can still put in HPS. Oh, it's because of the long life. It's because of the lumens per watt. It's because of all this stuff. I don't know, man. I think it's because of the color. And I think humans like that color at night. And I think they may not, when you look at them and ask them and say, do you like that orange color? No, I don't. I don't like that color. But hey, a fire at night ain't 5,000 K. But who knows? What do I know? I'm just a light bulb salesman. But there's something about that color, I think, that has a relationship to humans that we're missing right now. And I think lower Kelvin temperature at night is better.
There are decorative fixtures that are gas powered or gas lantern. So maybe we got to go back to that. Have an actual fire lighter way, huh?
That's not good for the environment, man. That's not good for the environment, man. If we're just,
I know.
What we need is clean electricity, and then all of our problems go away. Clean electricity.
Right. Simple. The next one: sports, step, landscape, pool, and fountain luminaires. The winner was Eaton's Ephesus Lumadapt 8. And what it does is alleviates the concerns of facility operators hesitant to purchase sports lighting for fear of being constrained by the limitations of today's sports lighting. So they didn't throw out the word, but what they're kind of talking about making this fixture so it's future-proof. Sorry about saying that, Mike. But they're saying that it's going to have the capability to do a wide range of a la carte options, RGBA color, beam tuning, color temp tuning, remote health monitoring, scene builders, and more. That they can, and it's a smart cloud approach that they can connect it and expand on it in the future, when and if they want to with this fixture. Look at that colorful thing. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, again, that's a spec grade product. So somebody's building a new facility that gets specified into it. Let me tell you a story. So I had this customer that is a town. And they had an arena, and in front of this arena were these bollards, but they're like lightsabers. So the bollards were 20 feet high, okay? And so the bollard comes up about 4 feet, and then it's a clear 6-inch or 8-inch plastic tube that goes up, and it looks like a lightsaber. And the actual tube is like 12 feet or something, 122 inches, whatever that is. And that's a lot of tube. Okay. Now, in order for this thing to be outside, okay, and for not to get whipped around, it has to be like this super thick plastic. Okay. And so someone came along and smashed one of these things at night. And so the town called me and they're like, can you find this tube? And I'm like, yeah, I can find that tube. I know a guy who knows a guy, right? So I scoured North America and it turned out, okay, that this tube, I found the manufacturer who made the tubes, just the plastic. And the manufacturer that made the fixture basically told me, no, there's no replacement parts for that fixture. Right? And I'm like, bull crap, I can find a replacement. Turned out that these 4 tubes were custom made in Germany for this application. And I thought to myself, man, that town got jacked on that specification. Like the people of that town probably paid $20,000 for each one of those lightsabers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And now one's broken. And my solution to them was, okay, let's make them half the height. And then I can get one made for you that will fit on that. And we'll put it on there. But we have to make them shorter because I don't know about the wind and this and that and it getting broken and everything else. But I thought to myself, like a lot of this spec grade stuff, You know, the facility operators at that place, they just want the lens replaced, man. They don't want to worry about, oh, and now you can connect to it with your iPhone too. You know, oh, and yeah, now we have this new need that we didn't have before that has nothing to do with it just sending light out into the space. And that need is for us to now do this. It's like, if it's not specified and if the training doesn't happen at the point of the time when the product is put into the place, what makes anybody think that anybody's ever going to want to come along and say, you know what I really want to do, son? What's that? I want to connect to those lights and do this with them.
Right.
Like, none of those guys are thinking about that. Like, I deal with these guys every day. The last thing they want is alerts from the sports lighting on the wall of their home, of their pool. I mean, I hate to beat up on Eaton here. I'm not saying, I'm sure it's a great light fixture, but if this idea of, I'm talking about the idea of future proof and the idea of, worrying about what a light fixture can do after it's installed. The idea of future proof, I'm sure the fixture itself is amazing. And when they spec it out, it's going to be great. But this idea that down the road, there's something more you can do with it. Who's going to remember any of that stuff? I remember when they pulled up the cut sheet, nobody even knew who made the fixture. What does it do? I mean, you could have like a superpower computer in that fixture, and all they want is a dumb lens. That's all they want. The dumb lens, so, because the mayor of the town's pissed off because the lens is broken at the front of the building, the $20,000 light fixture. So I'm always a little bit wary about the future-proof stuff. I think that's such a bad word. It's like, future-proof is for people that don't have a value proposition today.
There you go.
Sorry.
On to the next award. That's okay. The next award is Components, Sensors, Interfaces, and Software. And Simcon Lighting won with their Near Sky 360. You can see it's a 7-pin adapter, those that go on a lot of outdoor fixtures and things.
Is that JAGA compliant?
And yep. And what it is designed to do is capture, analyze, aggregate, and communicate sensor data within a connected city. So what are all the items it can do? Yeah, there's a whole list of them, but basically it talks about being on the edge of the next generation of edge computing platform. So you've talked about the importance of being on the edge versus in the system. This looks like it's something that can work with a variety of systems. You just need to have it on the fixture. Yeah,
a lot of people don't know what the difference between edge and cloud is, right? So edge computing, I think, I'm not sure 100%, was kind of pushed by the self-driverless cars thing, where the communication time between the edge of where the information is needed and the cloud, whether that's milliseconds or microseconds or whatever, that back and forth communication is not fast enough. So you need the processing power at the edge. Like, the processing power is not going to be in the cloud. It's going to be on the vehicle that's driving so that it stops in time. So that's the idea of edge computing. Just for our listeners out there that don't know the difference between that, the edge and cloud, those are kind of like separate. They work together a lot, but they're kind of like separate styles of creating a software functionality. Or I'm way off topic here, but way off the jargon of that business. But so edge computing is like, let's put the power to do the computing at the point where the sensor is. So I guess what they're saying is that with this, you have the ability to monitor traffic, to monitor pedestrians, to do a whole bunch of different stuff. Again, I'm just going to say this. I think a lot of this stuff is potentiality. I think someone's got to come forward with the solution to the problem, which is, this is the system that's going to solve X, Y, and Z problems. I don't know that people are going to go back to their light fixtures 5 years from again and again and again. I keep saying the same thing. I think they're more likely to change the light fixture to a solution if that's where they want the information to be aggregated at the light fixture. I think they're more likely to or you know what we need? We need someone to start a company. Do you remember that? There was a company that joined Nailed a couple years ago. And what they did was they went back and they fixed and recommissioned people's lighting control systems. Remember them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot who they're. Yeah, I do.
Right? It's almost like you need it. What we should do is like become experts at using all this old future-proof technology that's in the field to do stuff for people. And say, hey, did you know, like, that's a company to start right there, man. Start a company that like is a software development application company that is able to to deploy solutions for people. Because at the end of the day, these cities, these towns, and all sort of stuff, they're not going to come forward and say, they're going to say, here's our problem. They're not going to say, let's use those fixtures we installed 4 years ago to solve our problem. Someone has to come to them and tell them that. And they have to say, yeah, your fixtures are Daintree, Zigbee, beeswax, model number X, and we can connect to them wirelessly. And that information you wanted about pedestrian traffic right here, we can get that from your light fixtures. Oh, really? Yeah. To develop that and to develop a user interface that you'll be able to then, get the information you want and maybe monitor it in real time or, whatever, is now that's going to cost you $20,000 to build. And we'll get that deployed for you. And it's going to be a desktop application that this operator uses here. And then he can let people in and out of the gates based on their badge swipe IDs and knowing that they walk the path, whatever, right? Am I crazy here or what?
No, I think you're right on with that. Makes sense.
What I see is like, it's future-proof, it's future-proof, it's future-proof. There's got to be somebody catching that pass on the other side saying, yeah, no problem, I got that.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, no, seriously. Like everybody's throwing these future-proof Hail Marys down the field. That's what it is. It's a Hail Mary pass. He drops back into the pocket. Future-proof! Is someone going to be down there to catch it? Who's down there to catch it?
We'll see. We'll see. It's a long pass.
That's what it is, dude. What do you call that? Those Hail Mary. Hail Mary, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hail Mary equals future-proof. That's all that is. It's a Hail Mary pass down the field saying, hopefully somebody catches this on the other side and we score a touchdown. But you know what the question for me is? The question is, and this is what's interesting about all this sort of stuff, is the future-proof thing. Is like, you have the pass, but the time between when the pass was thrown and when the information is wanted, or what, it's even worse than a Hail Mary pass. It's almost like a Hail Mary pass from the game before. And we're playing a new game now. Because in 5 years, who knows where this industry is going to be? Lighting is a part of the architecture now, right? Li-Fi. We're going to the Li-Fi conference next week. That's the matrix. What if you don't even need sensors anymore? And people go, yeah, that fixture is future-proofed, but now we have the matrix, so we don't need any of that anymore, son. I mean, future-proof, think about my house. My house is future-proof 2005. Okay? It's a joke, dude. It's almost funny. Yeah, as long as you have an old iPod, swivel-based iPod, you're ready to rock and roll. But then Apple doesn't even allow you to have that software anymore. I don't know. Future-proof. That looks like a sweet-looking light fixture right there for the YouTube. Just threw it up on the screen there. What's that bad boy?
Yeah, well, we're gonna close this one out with part 2 right now. Because we're going to have to go to a part 3 just for time's sake.
Oh, okay. So, guys, again, to all the manufacturers out there, I love your products. I don't know, man, so don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Keystone Technologies. Go to KEY, except for I know what I'm talking about when I say Keystone Technologies. That's KEYSTONETECH.com, baby. KeystoneTech.com. If you're a distributor and you sell a lot of LED tubes, retrofit kits, bulbs, all ballast, all that kind of stuff, Keystone's got them because they're light made easy. They're retrofit kings.